The Miami Dolphins have been on a 5-game winning streak. They started the season 1-7. They've won 5 straight in a row against relatively bad teams and the Baltimore Ravens on Thursday night. And they're now 6-7 and are looking towards making the playoffs. However, if they win out, could they still even make the playoffs? If you look at playoffstatus.com, if the Dolphins win out, they only have a 79% chance to make the playoffs. Now, this is pretty good odds, but them winning out would mean things still have to go in their favor. If you look at 538, their projections, with winning out, the Dolphins only have a 75% chance to make the playoffs. Now, 75%, 79%, these are pretty good odds, but it's not 100. Usually, if you end the season on a 9-game win streak, you're going to make the playoffs. But with the Dolphins start, they'd only be able to finish 10-7 at the very best, and their schedule is a lot tougher than what it's been so far. They have a bye week this week. They play the Jets, they play the Saints in New Orleans, they play the Titans in Tennessee, and then they finish at home against the Patriots, which will be a very good game. The Dolphins always seem to play the Patriots well, but the Patriots, as we all know, have been rolling and matching the Dolphins in wins cost their streak. Now, according to 538, as you look at the Dolphins' schedule, they currently have an 11% chance to make the playoffs. A win versus the Jets puts them at 12. A win versus the Saints puts them at 18. A win versus the Titans puts them around 40. And a win versus the Patriots puts them around 75. Now, this is only selecting the Dolphins games. If you play around on the website and select wins for teams that the Dolphins are trying to beat, let's say the Colts beat Arizona in that Week 16 matchup, the Dolphins' playoffs percentage drops from 75 to 65 with those 4 wins. Now, this is just one game and one team affecting the Dolphins' situation, so this number can fluctuate a lot depending on how the games for the teams ahead of them do. A lot of these teams still have to play each other, and we could end up with a lot of tiebreakers where we don't know who's going to get it. Like I said earlier this week, the AFC is going to have a wild playoff race. It's going to be very entertaining to watch, but it's kind of striking that a team that could win 9 straight in a row could miss the playoffs. Now, I'm not guaranteeing the Dolphins win 9 straight in a row. They've already run 5. 4 in a row is tough to do. They play a little bit tougher teams than what they've played so far on their win streak. But it's fun to look at, and the Dolphins are certainly trending in the right direction to have a 9-game win streak. So, if they sneak in, do you want to play them? The AFC has proven this year that they're kind of weaker. There's no dominant teams. We don't know who the 1 seed is, so we don't know who the 2 seed is, because the Dolphins are likely to sneak in as that 7 seed or maybe even that 6 seed, depending how these tiebreakers go. So if you're the 2 or 3 seed, do you want the Dolphins traveling in to play you on a 9-game win streak? So if this team makes the playoffs, they can make some noise. Playoffstatus.com gives the Dolphins a 32% chance to be the 7 seed. If they win out, they have a 32% chance to be the 7 seed, 31% chance to be the 6, 13% chance to be the 5, a 2% chance to be the 4, a 1% chance to be the 3, less than 1 to be 1 or 2, obviously, and a 21% chance to miss the playoffs entirely. Now, like I said again, this is without the effects of other teams winning. The only things that are adjusted with these are wins for the Dolphins and losses for the Dolphins' opponents. This doesn't take into account the games played that will affect the Dolphins. As we all know, in playoff races, you're always watching other games. You need this team to lose. You need this team to beat that team to help your team out. We all know how it goes. We've all done it. We've all watched it. That's how it goes. Every year, some team plays spoiler, beats one team, knocks another team out. I remember the Bengals beat the Ravens, and the Bills got in the playoffs one year, and it was a huge thing for the Bills. That was their first time making the playoffs in a while. I believe that was the year with Tyrod Taylor. That was before Josh Allen. But Bills Mafia they all loved Andy Dalton for that. And it was just, everyone knew about it. It was a huge thing. So that's something that could happen this year. The Dolphins, because of their winning streak, ending the season on a win streak, which is good. You always want to end the year hot. But they're going to be on the outside looking in pretty much until the final week. They won't be one of these situations like the Titans are or the Bills where you're on the inside and you got to win and get in situation. They won't have that. The way it's going to line up, the Dolphins, no matter what they do they got to win. But that Week 17 game against New England, you got to take care of business, and then you got to run to the clubhouse. You got to check the scores. You got to see what's going on because you're going to need help. It's not guaranteed they get in even if they win out. And it's not guaranteed they're out if they don't win out. It's even less unlikely than them getting in, because them getting in isn't the most probable thing, but you're going to need help. So take care of business in that Week 17 game. You got to take care of business all throughout the weeks, but you got to take care of business, and you got to check the score. You got to do that Week 15. You got to do that Week 16. You got to do that Week 17. You got to do it Week 18. You got to see what's going on. That game, oh, that messes with our odds. Oh, they lost. That helps our odds. Stuff like that. You got to be watching. Another thing for the Dolphins, they're rooting as hard as they can against San Francisco. They almost got to root for them for 1 week because they play Cincinnati, but after that, they want them to lose out. Miami has San Francisco's first-round pick, so since we all know this is a continuous rebuild that the Dolphins are currently working with, they're working with their young quarterback. They could potentially use that San Francisco pick in a trade. They want San Francisco to lose, but they almost want them to beat Cincinnati to help the Dolphins playoff odds out. It's a crazy situation for them. Like, do we root for you because of our draft pick, or do we root against you for a draft pick, or root for you because of our playoff odds? If the Dolphins win out, but San Francisco beats Cincinnati, the Dolphins have a 79% chance to make the playoffs. But if Cincinnati beats San Francisco, the Dolphins drop to a 70% chance to make the playoffs. So this 1 Week 14 matchup has a 9% swing on how the Dolphins season is going to go, how they're going to make the playoffs. So these situations, we're all going to have to start looking out for these. We're at that part of the season, so who knows? Can the Dolphins finish the season on a 9-game win streak, finish 10-7? But will they even make the playoffs? It's going to be great to watch. It's going to be a great story. It's going to be my favorite story as a Dolphins fan to watch the rest of the season. I'm looking forward to it. I think they can pull off these final 4 weeks. New England in Miami. Miami always plays New England tough, but New England's looking amazing again. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be amazing football to watch. Let's get ready for it.